my hair looks kind of like I need a haircut. Chris de la Torre, how are we doing? Every time I see you, I feel like having a pizza or something. Gordon to Texans, thoughts? What do you mean thoughts? He's not going there. Let me see. Are you freaking jiving with me, bruh? He was just watching my video? Haha, that's funny. I'm saying, could you see that happening? No, that will not happen, Nick. And I'll explain to you why. Duke is getting paid $7 million. You have to pay Melvin Gordon at least $10 million, probably closer to $13 million, which is Bell money. There's no team that's going to invest $20 million in the running back position. It's not happening. What up, Con? Let's see if I get some more people on here. What up, y'all, on YouTube Live? Oh, that was terrible. What up, Entourage, on YouTube Live right now? This is the best time to get all your questions answered. Join me now. Entourage on YouTube Live. What up, Anthony? This is a new person. I don't recognize you. Are you from YouTube or from Instagram? What you think about Big Ben, Juju, Adams, Chubb, Montgomery, Kittle? I mean, not a big Ben guy, but I like everybody else. I'd have to see what your bench is like. Depending where you got Kittle, I'm not really that high on him where he's going, but maybe he slipped in your draft. Dalvin Cook is going to be a monster, bro. I mean, it's never been an issue of talent with him, just injuries, obviously. And I think a lot of that has been bad luck. But that scheme, Dalvin Cook's going to eat, man. He's better than a lot of running backs like DJ who are going ahead of him. Why isn't my TV working? What is up with that, bro? I don't know. Kittle in the 5th. Well, you got him at a value. Is that a 10 team though? Instagram. I just changed my name. I used to talk to you a lot last year. My Instagram. Oh yeah, Stupidazo, my man. Of course I remember you, bro. How are you? Time to grow up, huh? You had to change your name. Stupidazo wasn't cutting it no more, huh? What up, Entourage? What up, Entourage, on YouTube Live right now? This is the best time to get all your questions answered. Join me now. What up, Entourage, on YouTube Live right now? This is the best time to get time. That's the best time. What up, Entourage, on YouTube Live right now? This is the best time to get all your questions answered. Join me now. What up, Entourage? Sorry, guys. YouTube Live right now. This is the I somehow got Chubb in the 3rd. You guys, I don't know, man, what type of leagues y'all in, for real. Like, for real. Damn, I got to do this over. Why isn't this fucking up? Y'all be on some leagues, bro. I wish I was in y'all leagues. Funny shit in my draft last night is watching Luck owner's face get salty. Yeah, bro, that is fucking hilarious, dude. It's sad, but It seems like all the assholes drafted Chubb because I know this guy was he's an asshole in one league, and we all know Counselor's kind of an asshole. So it seems like all the assholes, this is like karma paying them back. So that's always cool. All right, finally done with this. All right, you guys got my attention. I drafted a team yesterday in my league. Who'd you get, Anthony? That's good. That's good. I like that. You're being productive on a fantasy level and a real life level. That's what it's all about. Good work, Justin. Plastic Man. What do you think about Mahomes, Barkley, David Montgomery, Keenan Allen, Boyd, Dede Westbrook, Doyle at tight end? I think that's very solid. I mean, your wide receivers are, it's good. It's good. I mean, I'd have to see your bench. I mean, that's a great starting lineup. Because Keenan Allen gets hurt a lot, Boyd gets hurt a lot, Dede Westbrook still's got Nick Foles. So I like Dede Westbrook as your third receiver. That's cool. Your first and second wide receiver. I love Boyd, but he is injury prone, and Keenan Allen is injury prone, even though they're always like weird injuries. But so just something to keep in mind. Plastic in the house, the true sniper. You guys are in a league together. It's pretty cool. I think Foles is loving Dede as his new target. Yeah, I see that in ADPs too, bro. I was loving Dede in the 9th. Now he's up to the 7th. I'm like, I mean, he still could be worth it, but fuck. I would have much rather, get him a little later. I think Foles, I read that. I'm taking Andrew Luck #1. Go for it, man. Balls out. I drafted 4 running backs in a row. Got Saquon, Leonard Fournette, Chris Carson, and KJ. Some risky players. Saquon isn't, but Leonard, you went 3 injury players in a row. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I know how I feel about that. I don't like it one bit. Depending, how you stacked up at receiver. Hopefully you got some high floor receivers, but your team, obviously there's upside there with the players that you went, but I just don't see all 4 of your running backs staying healthy. Hopefully at least 3, maybe even 2, because your running backs are so great. Even if you hit on 2 of the 4, you're going to have a pretty good team as long as you have, players with decent floors surrounding them. I'm really concerned about getting our guys with the $200 budget. You could do it. You just can't splurge. Like, I've never done an auction, but I'll tell you how I do it just because I have a fantasy football mind and you can apply it. Doesn't matter the scoring system. This is what I would do, Plastic. You're not going to be able to get everybody. I would focus spending more on the receivers and get running backs late. See, the key with running backs, guys, is to get a lot. The key with receivers is to get the best. So it's quantity versus quality. Receivers, you want quality. Running backs, you want quantity. Because there could be running backs that are not necessarily that good, Jalen Samuels, Damian Williams, but they can produce like top backs based on their system. So quantity is more important because running backs go so down. So you don't want to spend your whole budget on Kamara, CMC, guys like that, because they have a better, even though those guys are pretty good as far as from a durability standpoint, they're still running backs. They can still get hurt. So I'd rather you guys spend more money, get a top flight receiver, and break it down into tiers, Plastic. So if you know my elite receivers are OBJ, DeAndre, Adams, Juju, Michael Thomas, and I'm missing someone, and Tyreek Hill, whichever one of those is the cheapest, get that guy. You know my wide receiver twos are Godwin, Boyd, Cooper Kupp, Ridley, Galladay, Robert Woods. Who's ever the cheapest out of that, get that guy. So if you do it that way, if you break it down into tiers and just go for the cheaper one out of all the tiers because all those guys are similar, you're going to have a deep team. Because most people are going to do the name brand game. They're going to blow their budget on the Kamaras and the CMC because they feel like they need to get that big hitter. You're going to play it differently. You're going to spread your budget a lot more than these other guys. I hope that helps. I need Montgomery to have an amazing season. He will. He will. MVS, Royce Freeman, Shepard, Darwin Thompson on my bench is kind of cool. Weak. That's it? Why do you have such a small bench? It's not horrible. It's cool. Top 3. Is Cook a top 3 running back? He could be. I think, top 3 is a stretch. But he definitely could be. He definitely could be because he's in the right system. He's got the talent. The top 3 is top 3, but it's possible. I won't say he won't be a top 3, but that's a lot to ask. What running back takes the lion's share in Houston? Duke Johnson, easy. When do you draft David Montgomery? I'll draft him as soon as I feel like I'm drafting him second in my league. But guys, this is why a lot of you guys asked me very, not saying you did. Who is it? Who am I talking to? Okay, not you, Justin, but I'm just talking in general now. A lot of you guys ask me very broad questions. When should I take a quarterback? Everything is based on your situation. So, for instance, I'm taking Montgomery in the second round. Why? Because I have the first pick in a 12-team league. If I don't get him in the second round or third round, it's going to be back-to-back pick, however you want to break it down. If I don't do that, I'm not going to be able to get him at the end of the fourth round. So for me, he's worth a second-round pick. It just depends on you. And I know I'm in a competitive league. Everybody watch me. Everybody knows what I'm going to do. So I got to reach sometimes for players that I really want. Your league might not be as competitive. It probably isn't as competitive as mine. You might be able to get him in the fourth round. But I think a good way to secure Montgomery in most leagues, and I do recommend going after him, is to get him at the top of the third. That way you can make sure you got your guy. And remember, guys, Marlon Mack's going to be skidding down. Hilton's going to be skidding down. Some of these guys are just skidding down. Even Andrew Luck, well, he's out completely. That means some other guys are moving up. So Montgomery's going to be moving up. Thank God he hasn't played another preseason game and probably won't. But just keep that in mind because he's a guy worth getting. What up, Lisa? That's not really Lisa. I got Chris Godwin and Mike Williams and A.J. Green as my wide receivers. I don't really like that. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Kyle Rudolph to the Redskins. That's a very, very interesting and fantasy relevant move, actually. I might have to pick him up. Does somebody have him? Hold on. I might have to pick him up for the throne. Washington loves receivers. Or Washington loves tight ends. I don't know if I want him over Jack Doyle, though. I don't know. Let me see if he's even – I don't even know if he's available. That's a really interesting move. That's a good move for the Redskins. I think it's a good move for the Vikings, too. They drafted Irv Smith Jr., is that his name? But a super talented tight end. I don't like rookie tight ends. Better for Dynasty. But it makes sense. They don't need Rudolph, and Washington could really use another pass catcher. So kind of hurts Trey Quinn's value, I think. So Washington's offense is a mess, but that was a great pickup for both teams, or a great move. Makes sense. You're welcome, Plastic. Will Juju repeat what he did last year? Juju will not repeat what he did last year. He will supersede what he did last year. Top 3 receiver. Great answer. I don't even know what the hell I just answered. I drafted Miller in the 8th round Saturday night. My league is so tough that I only realized he was hurt when Johnson and another back from the Houston backfield were selected. You got to keep up. That's what I got to say to that. Guys, the reason why I hate the word charge. The reason why I ask you for donations to be part of my Facebook group is because whether you guys realize this or not, this is a full-time job. No. This is a full-time life. A job is 9 to 5. I am doing this 24 hours a day. Guys, we're on a live right now and we're getting news that's relevant. Plastic just told us Rudolph went to the Redskins. This is fantasy football for you guys. There's something every minute on the minute. It's a full-time. So you have to be on it. You have to be on it. If you want to be great, it's hard. It's hard to win in fantasy football. You have to be on it. Is Ty Montgomery from the Jets worth having on my roster for fantasy? One of those blank questions again. How am I supposed to answer that? Like, I want you guys, and I'm not picking on you, but I want you guys start expanding your minds, expanding your brains. Think about it. Do I know who's on your waivers? Do I know who else is on your team? So how can I answer that? They're not fantasy football, guys. It's like playing chess. It's like being in a war. You have to have strategy upon strategy. Guys, I play chess with these kids. I'll drop a player that I know somebody's going to pick up just so I could get another player. Like, my fantasy brain is like, and that's what I'm trying to teach y'all. I'm not trying to give you the fish. I'm trying to teach you how to fish. So in answer to your question, I can't answer your question. He's worth having on my roster, but I have a deep bench. You know what I'm saying? He's worth being on somebody's roster, but maybe you're in a crap league and you got people like Darwin Thompson. I have people call me or ask me all the time, hey, who should I pick up to drop? Who should I drop to get Darwin Thompson? There's leagues with, I'm like, they make you? There's leagues with Darwin Thompson on your waiver wire or Singletary on your waiver wire? And I get those questions all the time. So if you got those guys on your waiver wire and you're asking me if Ty Montgomery should you drop him, then I'll say, yeah, you should drop him for those guys. But if you're like my league and the waiver wire is like Keyshawn Johnson, you know what I'm saying? Kyle Rudolph isn't going to the Redskins. No news yet. Why does dude be lying? Plastic, stay on that Twitter. He believes all the fake news. I'm not criticizing you, Plastic. It's a fact. I still love you though. Watch him show me the news now. I'm gonna look like a dumbass. All right. Do you like Josh Jacobs this year? I love Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs is growing. I mean, he was, and it's probably news to some of you guys because I haven't really been talking about him. Although lately I've been talking about him more, but I haven't posted on him. But I love Josh Jacobs now. He's grown on me because I saw the way he looked. I saw him in action. They just put Doug Martin on the IR. So it's like Josh Jacobs and Richard. That's music to my ears. Richard. That means it's Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs is going to be – he's going to eat more than anyone outside of Barkley and Zeke, assuming he signs. Josh Jacobs is going to eat. And I love his build. I love, and it's so rare to see somebody with Josh Jacobs' build be a good pass catcher as well. So I'm on the Jacobs bandwagon. I think where he's going, he moved up a bit, but where he's going, he's still a steal. You get a mid to late round, 12-team PPR, he is a steal. Love Josh Jacobs. Go get him. You could get him as your RB too. Should I cut my losses in the Houston backfield? Johnson gone, or go for a deep pick? Running backs are Barkley, Cook, Lindsey, and Penny. I don't understand the question. Should I cut my losses? What does that mean? Johnson gone. The only one worth rostering right now, unless you're in a deeper league or dynasty, is Duke Johnson. All right. End of round one. What order would you take these backs? Mixon, Cook, Chubb, Fournette. Guy, whoa, buddy. Hold up. Let me make sure I read this right. What's that last name doing there? Teddy. Do you just realize what you just did? It's a sign. You came to my chat so I could save you. Fournette, first round. Really? Teddy, you got some homework to do, boy. All right, let's pretend like you didn't write Fournette. And the first round, Mixon, Cook, Chubb. So I would probably go Chubb, Mixon, Cook. But, I mean, honestly, they're the same tier. Same tier for me. I think Chubb's the safest, so I'm always going to put him first. Mixon and Cook is a toss-up, and they both could end up outplaying Chubb because they're both amazing systems, amazing grace. See, this is where I differ, guys. And that reminds me, I got to make a video of this, but I'll give you guys a sneak preview. See, when I do my rankings, I do them very, very, very different. Those of you who have my draft kit will attest to this because somebody asked me, and he was like, bro, you got Austin Hooper over Evan Ingram and O.J. Howard? Absolutely. Here's why. I factor in non-human things. Like when people make rankings, they make rankings assuming all the players are going to be healthy the whole year. That's why you got guys like Julio, top 4. And you got Gurley going in top of the second round or late first round. We haven't even seen this guy play. Last time we saw him play, he was like Mr. Gimpy. So I have Austin Hooper ahead of Evan Ingram and O.J. Howard, not because he's better, because I think he'll last the whole year. Why do I think he'll last the whole year? Because he's last the whole year his first 2 years. Why do I think O.J. Howard and Evan Ingram won't last the year their first 2 years? Because they haven't lasted the whole year their first 2 years. But we always want to assume these players are going to play 16 games. So, yes, I think Evan Ingram and O.J. Howard will have more points per game than Austin Hooper. But I ain't picking them first, especially they're going 4 or 5 rounds. Austin Hooper right now, I think, has an ADP of the 11th round. Ingram and Howard, 5th, 6th, somewhere around there. They are not 5 rounds better than Hooper. They're actually not even better than Hooper in my eyes because Hooper has just as much upside, and he's talented himself. He's a 3rd-round pick. Dirk Koetter is the offensive coordinator who's a genius when it comes to tight ends. He's in a passing offense, playing in the dome, and he's not injury-prone. So I use this to factor in my rankings. So sometimes my rankings look crazy, like when I had Nick Chubb 5 to 10 months ago. Same thing with Montgomery months ago. Cuckoo, this rapper's crazy. No, is I factor in injuries, and I need security. Chubb is safe. Montgomery's safe. David Johnson at number 5? I don't know. N'Keal Harry or Hollywood Brown? I'll go Harry. I'm not crazy about either or, but definitely Harry between those two. I have my draft on next Sunday, and it's Snake. 10-team standard league. So strategy would be to stack the running backs as always, correct? Yeah. But guys, when I mean stack the running backs, it doesn't mean you got to go 5 straight running backs your first 5 rounds. No. And let me see. Depending on how many receivers. Now, this is here. If you are in leagues that have 2 wide receivers starting, I usually go 1 wide receiver the first 4 or 5 rounds. If you have 2, then I'll probably go 2 wide receivers, 4 running backs. But there is exceptions to the rule. Guys like Chris Godwin, Cooper Kupp, Tyler Boyd are special. They could give you that running back-like production. They have high floors. They're going to get a lot of targets. So there is a world where I would select one of those receivers over running back, depending on the situation. When all things are equal, I go running back. but always best available, guys. End of first, how would you rank these wide receivers? OBJ, Mike Thomas, Juju, Tyreek. I would go Juju, Mike Thomas. Actually, I would go Juju, OBJ, Mike Thomas. Juju, OBJ, Mike Thomas, Tyreek. Mason Rudolph. Wow. Plastic, you need to get some sleep. I have 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and a flex. Okay. So, yeah, I'd probably do the situation that I just gave you. But it depends because standard, some of these running backs are not that great in standard. Like Duke Johnson, there's a big difference between Duke Johnson, standard. But it's only a few players that, like Lindsey, I don't really like standard. Tevin Coleman. Well, Tevin Coleman can still be that guy because he'll probably be the goal line back. But just be careful with that because wide receivers, I think, are a little harder to come by in standard, or running backs are a little harder to come by in standard. So make sure that, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but some of these running backs, like Duke Johnson and stuff, I would take a receiver over in standard, not PPR. What up, Biggie? Juju 8 tonight, man. Did you watch the – No, big touchdown? Oh, that's what I like to hear. That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. Oh. What up, Armin? Juju, bro, I've been telling people, man, get Juju. I've been telling y'all. Yo, it's funny, man. All you people, man, some people, if you're in the league and you're paying money into that league and you ain't trying to spend $20 to A, support me, because that's what friends do, and B, to get all your questions answered for 4 months, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Because all the players I told you guys, have you ever heard me mention Andrew Luck? Go get Andrew Luck? No. Have you ever heard me mention get T.Y. Hilton? No. The guys I've been harping on are looking good. Now, I'm not going to go all counselor and start claiming, look, I told you so. But Juju's looking good. Chubb's looking real good. Mixon's looking real good. Godwin's looking real good. Kupp's looking real good. There's certain guys, and that's why, if you read my book, a lot of you have, some of you haven't. I tell you guys, and this is what, guys, you're not getting this anywhere. Everybody else is the same. I'm different, which is why it looks crazy sometimes. But you see, I only like 25 to 30 players in the whole NFL. Everybody else does this. They say they will take a player if they could get him at the right spot. Perceived value is not value. If Devontae Freeman is there in the 6th round, he's a 3rd round pick. I'm not taking him. You guys got to realize the reason I like 25 to 30 players is every year there's only 25 to 30 players that really do good. So it's a guessing game. Who do you think those 25 to 30 players are? So the fact that everybody is picking certain players and thinking they'll take them here and take them there, it's a wrong philosophy. Guys, we are the future of fantasy football. People have been playing it wrong. I'm trying to show you how to play it right. Real talk. And you guys got to look at this. Every year, guys, there's players that bust. Top 10, top 20, top 30, top 40. Every year, there's players that make it in the 10th round, the 11th round, the 12th round. Lindsey was undrafted. I try to find those players before everybody else. Listen to your advice, and my team is Winston, Montgomery, Mixon, Cowd. Oh, my God. Armin, I love you. Beautiful. Appreciate it, Justin. Thank you. Counselor's crazy, man. He's literally crying due to Luck's retirement. That's why I don't select. Guys, It's all about supply and demand. What is harder to get? Guys, if everybody could get diamonds, diamonds wouldn't be worth anything. Quarterbacks are everywhere. You got guys, this guy picked Josh Allen with his last pick. Josh Allen was the #1 quarterback from week 12 to 17. He's going in the last round. Why would I get Andrew Luck, somebody that's injured, before we knew he was going to retire in the 4th or 5th? I mean, it's just all right. Guys, one thing for DMs. Please don't send your questions there. I'm not going to answer them, period. Why? Because my time is valuable, just like your time is valuable. I value your time, and that's why I want to give you my best. But I need you to work with me. If I answer and I spend my time, I'm working for free. Even though I work for free all the time, but I'm trying to build my brand. No influencer is going to tell you this. But real talk, the reason why they want you to engage, the reason why they want you to like, share, comment is because it builds their brand. So let's do an even exchange. I help you out, which I like to do. I love fantasy football. I love talking. I love helping people. I love teaching. That's my passion. But help me out. If you're not going to pay for the Facebook group, which I'm not telling anybody to pay, and I'm still going to answer your questions, whether you pay or not. The Facebook group is just more intimate and I get in more detail. But at least help me out and help me build my brand and my engagement and ask in the comments. Because not only am I not making money if I answer your DM, but I'm not even getting credit for the engagement. You see what I'm saying? It's not selfish. I love you guys. I want to help you, but help me because this is my passion. And if I have to go back and get a job, which I probably have to do soon, unless I go crazy and win a bunch of money in DFS, then I can't help you because I'm not available. I got to be working and I can't spend time researching. That's what makes me who I am because I spend so much time researching. So it's just being completely transparent. I want to be real with you guys. I want you to respect me as a person. I want to respect you. It's all love. But I just want you to know where I'm coming from. I'm not trying to be a dick saying, no, I'm not answering your DMs. I'm just trying to help myself too. Because then it's just slavery. And I'm just working. I'm just being your slave for your team. And I'm not even helping myself. So, QB, most overrated position. Took Brady around 13 with Jameis Winston around 17. Yeah, Brady's a waste of a pick, but like Winston around 17. What round is AB? AB is almost off the board for me, guys. I just don't. I want to be able to sleep at night. I value my sleep. If I have AB because he's being chosen as a wide receiver 1, if I could get him as my wide receiver 2, I might take the risk. But if he's my anchor of my team and you got to pick him the first 2 rounds, I would maybe gamble with AB at the end of the 4th, no sooner. Guys, this guy, you just don't know with him. I think he's got CTE or something. I don't want the headache. I don't want it. I just destroyed my second draft. That's what's up. Did you read my book, Huff? Guys, buy the book on Amazon to support the rapper. The book is amazing. Thank you, Justin. Appreciate it. Big Ben, Monty, Aaron Jones, Julio, Odell, OJ, AJ Green, Will Fuller, da-da-da. You got a lot of nice names, but I'm not really crazy about your draft, Huff. The reason why. All right, guys, I'm going to give you a good example of what not to do, which is what Huff did. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to be, like put your draft down, but I don't like Huff's draft, and I'll explain to you why. Huff has amazing names. Big Ben, top 3 quarterback last year. Aaron Jones, supposed to be really good. Julio was the top 4 receiver last year. AJ Green, OJ Howard, Will Fuller, those games he was in, he was tearing it up, man. Darrell Henderson, Gurley's, Garrett Huff does not have one single player on his team where I could say with 100% certainty they're going to ball this year. This is a great example of what not to do. Big Ben doesn't have Antonio Brown. Monty's a rookie. I like Monty. I'll exclude. He has one player that I really like. Aaron Jones I like. So these running backs are pretty good. Aaron Jones I don't have a problem with. But Aaron Jones, let's face it, guys. Aaron Jones, I love Aaron Jones. If he's healthy, he will be a top 5 to 7 running back. But has he ever been healthy? Who else you got? Julio, he has a foot injury right now that he's battling. He's 30. He's always – so that's a big risk. Odell, injury prone. AJ Green, injury prone. Will Fuller, injury prone. Darrell Henderson has not looked good in preseason. Darwin Thompson right now is a backup. Singletary the same. Samuel's the same. Latavius Murray the same. Josh Allen is a wild card, but I like Allen. But you see how he's got all these question marks? So he fell for the name game, which is what a lot of you guys do. Well, guess who else fell for the name game last year? Le'Veon Bell owners. He didn't play one snap. David Johnson owners. He was a bust. Now, I fell for David Johnson, too. I didn't think he was going to be that bad. I didn't think they were going to use him like that. But what I'm trying to say, guys, is don't fall in love with the names because you want some security. I don't like players that are coming into the season injured like Julio Jones. I don't like – he's got all injury-prone players. Now, if everything plans out perfectly for Huff, amazing. Amazing. Does that ever happen in football? No, it doesn't. Hopefully it does. He doesn't get hurt too bad. But right now, the only person I can feel confident that won't get hurt, and he still could, is Montgomery. And then the rest of the bench players don't count. I'm talking about the starters. How much for your shirts? I have to figure that out, guys. Garrett, how did you read my book and pick all those players then? Because my book specifically says don't get Julio. Anyway, don't worry, you're using Julio and Jones in trades, okay? The shirts, I'm trying, guys, I always try to make things as cheap as possible for you. That's why I want to grow my brand so big. Because think about it. If I get really, really big, like Stephen A. Smith, like Colin Cowherd, then I give you shit for free. Then I don't have to ask you for $20 for my Facebook. I'll just give it to you for free because I'm getting paid millions from ESPN or advertisements or stuff like that. I don't want to charge you. I feel uncomfortable. I would do this for free if I could, but I gotta eat. I gotta live. Rap, could you give me some advice on starting a podcast? I would ask you for the same thing. I'm trying to start one. I know a little bit about it, but just be entertaining, be consistent, be different. Best running back value, round 3 and round 4. Best wide receiver value, round 3, round 4. Best running back value in round 3 is either Kerryon Johnson or Montgomery. I would lean Montgomery. And round 4, I don't really like any running backs if Jacobs falls there or Montgomery. Sometimes he falls in the 4th. And then wide receiver, best round 3 value would be Adam Thielen. Best round 4 value would be Godwin. I'd like more DFS advice this year. Yeah, I might have a program for that, actually. Because DFS, ultimately, I can't give you guys that for free because then you're competing against me. So I have to charge people. Somebody just asked me today. I just did the most lit DFS lineup I think I've ever done. Because I don't know how long you guys have been here with me or whatever, how long you guys have been following me. But I always tell people, like a lot of people say draft late because you never know what's going to happen with injuries. But I'm so, like, meticulous. For those that don't know what that means, I'm so, like, paranoid, like, about not getting injury-prone players. So usually that's a big advantage for me if we draft early because I'm able to see things before everybody else. The same thing with DFS. I love week 1 of DFS because nobody knows how anything's going to be. And because I've done this 20 plus years, I'm able to see things before everybody else. So it's such a huge advantage for me. So I will say this, start Kerryon Johnson against Arizona. There's your first tip. Shaking my head. I thought you'd love Henderson, Darwin, and Singletary. The fuck? Yeah, I like those. I don't mind those. I like those. Darrell Henderson, depending where you got him, but I like those, Garrett. I like those. I don't like the problem is as much as I like those players, I do like them. As long as you didn't pick them too high, I like them. But we have to be honest with ourselves. They are still stash backs. There's still stuff that probably has to happen for those guys to flourish. You feel what I'm saying? So if you have uncertainty in the forefront, like Julio Jones, Aaron Jones. Now, Aaron Jones, I got no problem with. Don't get me wrong. As just RB2, that's cool. He's worth the risk where you got him. That's cool. It's the Julio Jones. It's when you add them all together. The Ben Roethlisberger, I'm not crazy about, but, whatever. But I just see a lot of risk in the players, a lot of risk in your forefront. Because as much as I love Aaron Jones, he's still a risk. I love OBJ, but he's a risk. So that's what I'm trying to say. But it's a good team. Just be careful because a lot of those guys, you could end up – I hate guys where you could end up losing them completely in the early rounds. If you lose a guy completely, if Darwin Thompson doesn't plan out, who cares? You got him in 8, 9, 10, wherever the heck you got him. But if OBJ doesn't pan out, if Julio Jones doesn't pan out, that could be really, really, really big. Can we have free T-shirts? So you want me to pay for your shirt? Bro, I'm broke. Like, I don't know if y'all realize that. I'm glad I could help, Teddy. What a mistake. Big Ben, because Wentz, Baker, Winston all went. So why didn't you skip Big Ben? You did right getting Josh Allen, but you should have went a positional player like a wide receiver, running back. But you don't have to follow everything I do. I understand. Like, I'm just saying, but I have to judge your team based on what I would do, and I would not have selected Big Ben. But it could pan out for you. I mean, Big Ben has been good, but I'm just saying what I would have done. You know what I'm saying? What was that, Huff? Was it a 12 team or a 10? That's a 10 team, right? I really, really love Matty Ice this year, rapper. He would be my number one QB, to be honest. I just never been and to me, sometimes guys, I'm human too. And some guys I just don't like. Matt Ryan's one of those guys. He's good. He's really good. He played really good last year. He should play really good this year. But it's just that's just me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not telling you guys not to. I think Matt Ryan should be a top 6 to 7 QB, maybe top 5. But it's just, I don't like him. You ever see somebody on the street and just look at them and you're like, I don't like him. That's Matt Ryan. Not the way he looks. It's just, I guess the reason I don't like Matt Ryan, to be quite frank, is his history is one good game, one bad game. Folding under pressure against good. Now, he didn't do that last year. He did not do that last year, but I have that programmed in my brain. There's like a lot of you guys got programmed stuff in your brain to think a certain way, to like certain players, to fall for the name brand. I have certain things programmed in my brain. My brain says, like, Matty Ice will let you down. So I'd rather just pick Winston in the 10th or Josh Allen in the 13th. And Sam Darnold's not even getting drafted in some leagues, which is insane. That's why there's too much value at the end of the drafts for me to go after a Matt Ryan or whoever, insert quarterback. 12 team? Okay. But you got a 12. I mean, you got a stacked team, Huff. Like, there's no question about it. If your team plays with the potential, you're going to freaking win, period. So I think maybe I'm being a little hard on you. But, guys, remember, when I'm being hard on you guys, it's because I know what it takes to build a championship team, and I want you guys to get there. I want you guys to win. So I'm not here to be easy on you guys. I'm here to make sure that you win. I'm like that tough coach, like that Bill Belichick, that no-nonsense coach. I'm not here to tell you how good your teams are. If you had an A+ draft, I'm trying to tell you how you could have had an A++ draft. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be extra hard because you know what? Just like ask some of these people that are in my chat. Their mock drafts were so hard because they were going against basically my clones that when they went to their real drafts, these guys had like an all-star lineup and it was easy. So if I set the bar high, if I'm hard on you guys, then when you take that information and you put it against your puny leagues with people that follow ESPN and Fox Sports, you're going to crush it. So just take it. It's all love. For real. It's all love. I'm rough around the edges, but it's all love. And when you win, you're not gonna give a shit. Because winning heals everything. You know they say time heals all wounds, well, so does winning. From the 12th spot, was planning on Juju and Chubb, but they went early. Okay. So you went OBJ and Julio, I'm guessing. Why didn't you go Mixon? Mixon wasn't available? I don't know, you know me. I don't like that double wide receiver stuff. Especially went 2 injury prones. Like, it's okay if you would have went 1 and maybe picked a safer one, like a Mike Evans, or maybe double running back, go Cook Mixon or something like that. But the fact that you picked 2 injury prone receiver, I hope it works out. Hope you get at least one of them. Okay, Rapper, who would be your top 3 QBs this year? That's a really tough question. Because outside of Mahomes, there's not a quarterback that I feel that's worthy of the 2 spot. I mean, Mahomes number 1. It's the way I feel about Barkley. It's like Barkley's here and then everybody else is here. Mahomes is here, everybody else is here. The only guy that could come close to Mahomes is Deshaun Watson. The problem is Deshaun Watson is a heartache. I cannot select Deshaun. I had him in my league the first year. It's the first time I ever used a waiver on a quarterback. No, well, yeah, at the time it was the first time. I also used one for Mitch Trubisky last year. But the reason I'm mentioning this is Deshaun Watson. My heart drops every time he runs the ball. He's just makes me too nervous because he's reckless. His offensive line sucks. So if everything goes correctly, I like Deshaun Watson at number 2, but I can't pick him there because the risk is too high. You see, it's always about risk reward for me. That's why a lot of people are like, you pick Juju over Julio? You're crazy. Juju's safe. Julio is not. I always go safety. If the players are comparable. Now, if one's here, is one's there, I guess you could say Deshaun Watson is a little bit higher than some of these other guys. He does have the most upside besides Mahomes, but I'd rather just get another receiver, or I think Deshaun Watson goes probably 5th round, 4th round, where guys like Tyler Boyd, Chris Godwin, guys like that, I'd rather go that route. But to answer your question, if I had to, I'll pick Deshaun Watson number 2, kind of leaning towards Aaron Rodgers number 3. A guy who's growing on me a lot, though, I'm not going to lie, is Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz might be moving into my top 5. And Winston. That would probably round out my top 5. I'll put Baker 6, maybe Matt Ryan 7. But it changes every day, guys. I went double wide receiver and still ended up with Chubb. Yeah, you guys can do that in some leagues. I wouldn't be able to pull that off in my league. But, hey, kudos to you. You did it, and your team came out perfect. I'm still all over the waivers. Yeah. Guys, and that's a great point, Huff. Your draft is about 30%. As much as we harp on the drafts, it's about 30%. If you draft good, you just got a head start. That's all. That's all. If you're a waiver monster like me, most of the time, I have like 3 players that I drafted on my team. And it's not because of trades. It's literally because of waivers. Because if you guys read my book, I go all upside. What happens when you go all upside? Well, you miss. I'm going to be wrong. But if I got 6 players on my bench and I miss on 5, which is horrible, but I hit 1, and that 1 is a Nick Chubb, let me ask you this. What's better, my 1 Nick Chubb or my 5? Some of you guys benches, my 5, if I got Michael Gallup, Devontae Parker, Peyton Barber, all these guys with low ceilings, I'd rather have my 1 Nick Chubb. Because my 1 Nick Chubb is an RB1. Who wins? And now that RB1 is my RB3. So what's better? Nick Chubb and RB1 as my RB3? Or if I would have just got 6 bench players that were just like average. Fantasy football, guys, is about collecting home run hitters. It's not about, and this is, I say this every live. I feel like such an idiot sometimes. But this for real, this is the number one problem fantasy owners have. And I say this about a lot of things, but this one is for real. The problem is with you guys is you think that spreading points is better than having 2 or 3 guys that absolutely kill it. And I know this because you guys freak out about tight ends because your tight end's ugly, because you drafted so good, and you got so many running backs and so many receivers, and then you ended up with Jordan Reed as your tight end, so you freak out. So you're like, no, I can't. That just looks ugly. I need to get Ertz. I need to do whatever. And then you end up trading one of your studs just so you can even out your starting lineup. So it's all pretty. But I explain this in my book. If you, let me see if I could explain this situation. Let's say let's say, damn, the example I give in my book is really good. This is really important. Give me a second to think so I can explain this to you. Let me answer these questions. I'll go back to this because this is really important. It's going to blow your mind. Top 5 defenses. I don't care about defenses, guy. Browns, Detroit, San Fran, Packers. Who cares about defense? Defense wins real championships, not fantasy. Carson Wentz or Jared Goff. Oh, Carson Wentz by far. Yeah, I didn't win any of my leagues last year. I'm one of those guys who got Kamara in 2018 and Boyd and Aaron Jones last year. Well, Aaron Jones didn't play last year. Played like 4 or 5 games. I see why you didn't win. I consider getting a shirt with New England colors. I'll see what I could do. Actually, thoughts on Carson Wentz. Love Carson Wentz. I just finished mentioning top 5 quarterback potentially. But let me go back to what I was telling you. All right, so, okay, here's the example I used in my book. I might need a pen for this. Give me a second, guys. This is really, really important. All right, so let's say Mike Evans no, let's see. Okay, let's say Adam Thielen is your number 2 receiver, but he's a top 10 receiver, so he's really a wide receiver 1, right? Okay, you got Thielen. He's your wide receiver 2. He's a top 8 receiver, though. He's your wide receiver 2, but he's a top 10 receiver because your wide receiver 1 is Juju. Okay. Your tight end, we'll use that Jordan Reed example. Your tight end is Jordan Reed. You're like, I can't stand looking at Jordan Reed. I have all these good players. I have Juju. I have Kerryon Johnson. I have Chubb. But I can't stand looking at Jordan Reed. So you like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna trade Adam Thielen since he's my wide receiver 2, even though he'd be a 1 for everybody else, and he's averaging 20 points per game, right? Now Jordan Reed, who sucks, is averaging 10 points per game. So you decide what you're going to do is you're going to trade Adam Thielen for a tight end and a wide receiver 2. So the wide receiver 2 that you're going to trade him for is, let's say it's Calvin Ridley, all right? Calvin Ridley is a wide receiver 2. A low wide receiver 2. He's like the 22nd wide receiver. You guys staying with me? He averages 13 points. All right. You trade him for you trade Thielen for Calvin Ridley, and we'll use Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram is averaging 14 points. But he's a top 5 tight end. Even though he's only averaging 4 more points than Jordan Reed, he's a top 5 tight end. Who would take that trade? Well, you don't have to answer me. Most of you guys would. You know why? Because this is how your brain thinks. You're like, I'm trading my wide receiver 2. I'm still getting a wide receiver 2 back in return. And I'm upgrading my tight end. I don't have to look at Jordan Reed. I'm getting a top 5 tight end. That's how you guys think. Let's do the math. Adam Thielen gives you 20 points. Jordan Reed gives you 10. That's 30 points. Now, this is just for example purposes. Ridley gives you 13 points. Evan Ingram gives you 14. That's 27 points. You lose 3 points, but because it looks better to you on paper, because you still got a wide receiver 2, and now you upgraded at tight end, you got a top 5 tight end, psychologically, you think you got better. Statistically, you got worse. And that's what a lot of you people do. You don't look at the numbers, you look at the names. You need to look at the production. Thank you, Daniel. I love you too. If you guys like this live, I'm going in, guys. I always bring it. If you can't tell, I'm trying to teach you. I'm trying to make you better. Please give it a like. Please give it a share. Please give my rap a share. Please support me and join the Facebook group. It's a great community. It's just like this all the time. You got some really good people, not just me, but really, really good fantasy minds. Draft kit, group, and books, all $20, all included. But yeah, hopefully that register with you guys, because a lot of people, and I see a lot of people make that mistake. Make sure you're looking at the numbers. Make sure you're actually making your team better and not somebody else's team better just because, and you see it all the time. I'd rather have a stink tight end. Imagine if you got, this is what I'm going to do in my league. So imagine Calvin Ridley and Lindsey for Mike Evans. That's tough, dude. I'd have to look at your whole roster, to be honest with you. I have a PPR draft tonight. I have the 10th pick. Should I go running back? All right, this is the key to life. This is the key to winning. This is the key to everything fantasy football when it comes to the draft. I'm gonna tell you it right now. But I need y'all to give me a like. There's 9 people in here. Why I only got 4 thumbs? Guys, I'm just trying to build my brand. I'm not trying to be like, please like me. No, I'm just asking for your help. Because again, I've been on live an hour already, just teaching you guys, just answering your questions. Help me out here. But in answer to your question, looks like Ajayi might be going to the Texans. Whatever. Thank you, Ian. Just post it here, Savi, because you don't know how many DMs I get, bro. That shit gets lost in translation. But what was I doing? I was saying something. Oh yeah, the key to life. Let me see how I can explain this so you guys can understand easy. So this is how it goes, Kevin. This one's specifically for you, but everybody can use this. All right, so we're in the 10th pick, right? I know for me, there's only 6 elite receivers. 6 receivers I want as my wide receiver 1. Juju, Adams, OBJ, Michael Thomas, Hopkins, and Tyree. For me, those guys are head and shoulders above everybody else. Those are 6, all right? And there's about 6 running backs that are the same. The typical 4, Chubb, Juju, we could include Cook, 7. 7 running backs. Wait, top 4, Mixon, Chubb, that's 5, 6, Cook, 7. Okay, so there's 7. 6 wide receivers, 7 elite running backs. So you're at the 10th spot, right? The top 4 running backs are probably gone, all right? Let's say Chubb is gone. That's 5. So that means there's the potential for 2 elite running backs. And then out of the receivers, so we got 5 running backs. That means 4 receivers were gone. So that means we got 2 and 2. So chances are Evans. Evans is another receiver. We got 7 and 7. So chances are, so here's 2 and 2. But let's say my next tier, let's give you another example. So there, you could do one or two things. There, I would probably either go, depending on your league, in a 10 team, let me see, you're going to be picking at the end of the 3rd. So you're not going to have any elite receivers or any elite running backs. So in that case, I would probably go 1 and 1. I would probably pick like Juju and Chubb, Juju Mixon, Adams, something like that. But I want to just stay with me because this is very important. This is why I break things down into tiers, and this is why I recommend you do the same. After that original tier, my next tier of running backs is David Montgomery, Kerryon Johnson, Aaron Jones, Josh Jacobs. Am I missing somebody? No, I think that's about it. All right, so there's 4. My next tier of wide receivers is Godwin, Boyd, Woods, Golladay, Kupp, Ridley. So I have more receivers that I like in my second tier than there is running backs. So that 3rd round comes around. Again, I would probably go, based on where you're picking, 1 and 1. Depends. Depends too. No, I would probably go 1 and 1. But let's say for all intents and purposes, that you're not picking back-to-back. Because back-to-back is different. But let's say you were picking, the 6th pick, the 7th pick, the 8th pick, the 5th pick, whatever. If there's 7 wide receivers that I like in the tier, and there's only 4 running backs, then I'm going to go running back. That's whatever there's less of is where I'm going. It's what I'm going to do. Now, let's say if it's flipped. In that tier, there's 7 running backs and only 4 wide receivers, then I'm going to go receiver because there's less. And that's the key to drafting. Always go with whatever the position is harder to get. So let's say I know for me, there's only 3 tight ends I want. Hunter Henry, Austin Hooper. There's really only 2, actually. And then I would settle for Goddard or Jack Doyle if everything strikes out. So once Hunter Henry gets picked, if I can't get him in the end of the 6th or the 7th, then I know I want to reach a little bit for Austin Hooper. If not, I'm going to fall off the cliff. Austin Hooper goes 11th. I might reach for him in the 9th, depending on the league, depending how I know. I know people are probably going to take Jared Cook first. I know how people think. So you just got to play it out. Or Njoku, hopefully. I like Njoku too, though. But, yeah. Anyway, that's just giving you some insight there. Do you cover college fantasy football? No. I'm not going to pretend I know about college because I don't know shit about college. You like Winston so much? I do, especially where he's going. It's worth it. I think he has top 5 upside. I think he'll be a top 5 quarterback under Bruce Arians with those weapons. And he's going like the 10th round. You got nothing to lose. Even if I'm wrong, who cares? It's 10th round. Everybody's a gamble 10th. If Jacobs and Montgomery are both available, then you go best available. You could go Jacobs and Montgomery. I got no problem with that. It's very possible because you're in a 10-team league. But at least you got one receiver. You know what I'm saying? Because then you could just get a bunch of like really good receivers. Because there's a lot of receivers, guys. D.D. Westbrook's going in the 7th. Robbie Anderson in the 10 team will probably go in the 6th or 7th. So you could still get, I think those guys can be wide receiver 2s potentially, especially Anderson. Anderson's got wide receiver 1 upside. So if you go that route, then your next pick, you should be targeting a guy like Robbie Anderson. Hopefully he falls to you. Yeah. I like Montgomery and Jacobs over Carson because Carson's injury prone. Here's the team. Murray, Lamar Jackson, Juju, Ridley, Green. Mark Andrews, Vance, Njoku, Chubb, Williams, Montgomery, Singletary, Darwin, Lindsey. So Lindsey and Ridley for Evans. Okay, so you'll be getting Evans. You don't have any bench receivers? Or you play with 2 wide receivers? Yeah, Kevin. Yeah, because, again, that's a great – okay, so cool. So, yeah, I would get Jacobs and Montgomery. If you think you could get Ridley, who, remember, I have him as my same tier as Chris Godwin and Cooper Kupp. So it's going to be easier for you to get one of those tiers. That's a perfect example. Then, yeah, get Jacobs, get Montgomery, because you could still get a Chris Godwin-like player in Tyler Boyd your next turn, or Ridley or whatever, like you said. So absolutely, yeah. I go Kamara, then Hill. Should I take Kerryon or Keenan in the 3rd? Definitely Kerryon. You don't want to pick more. You don't ever want to pick more wide receivers than running backs. 2-to-1 ratio is what I recommend. I'm glad I see you paying attention. Yes, you're right. That's absolutely right, Kevin. That's a perfect example of going best available. And what I was telling you about that trick, because there's a good chance that you can get a Chris Godwin-like player in the 5th, 6th turn, but you're not going to be able to get a Montgomery or Jacobs there. You get what I'm saying? Because then you're looking at guys like Coleman and those guys, Lindsey. There's a big drop-off between David Montgomery and Philip Lindsay. There's not a big drop-off, if any, between Godwin and Boyd. Yep, all about that 3-headed. What if I could take Montgomery in the 4th? Go for it. Wherever you think you could get away with taking him, that's what you need to do, guys. Thanks for the likes, too. If you haven't liked, there's 9 people here. 3 people don't like me. Such a shame. Only have 3 wide receivers because only have 6 bench spots. But how many receivers do you play with, Savi? I'll be right back. Gonna get my water. You got 3 tight ends? I didn't see that. See, that's where you fucked up, bro. You need to do something. You should not have more than 1 tight end, especially you got average tight ends. Like slightly above average. That's what you need to do. Because I'm sure since there's light bench spots, you can probably see. I'd rather you keep your team the way it is. I would not trade for Evans as much as I love Evans, as much as my book says that whoever gets the best player in a trade wins. The reason why I don't like it in your case is because you need depth. Because AJ Green's hurt. I also don't know why you have a backup quarterback, but AJ Green's hurt, so you really only have you have Juju Ridley, and then your Damian Williams, Chubb, Damian Williams. Yeah, no, keep your running back depth. Plus, Evans is still injured. We don't know what's going on with Evans. Never trade for an injured player. I would not do that trade if I was you. Also, drop Mark Andrews, and I'm sure there's a wide receiver on your waiver wire, and try to get rid of the Jesus. Oh, 3 tight ends. God, I'm gonna puke, bro. You have a lot of wasted room, Sabi. You need to get rid of Lamar Jackson. You need to get rid of Mark Andrews. You need to get rid of Vance McDonald. Whether it's trade or dropping them, I would try to trade them, obviously, but that's your problem right there. You have a lot of wasted spots. So Kamara, Hill, and I know I can get Montgomery in the fourth. Should I take Keenan in the third? No, carry on. It's all about building running back depth. Carry on's upside's a lot higher, and then the risk is about the same because Keenan Allen gets injured all the time too. So I'd rather go with the harder position to fill, which is running back, and the bigger upside, which is carry on Johnson. Put AJ Green in an IR spot ASAP and pick up another flyer. Not everybody has IR spots. Used to playing with 3 wide receivers in this league because of it being a PPO, and I don't get a point pre-catch. All right, well, okay, well, that's good that you have a IR spot for AJ. Have you already put him on IR? Yeah, Savi, you got some work to do. Do I like Sam Darnold this year? No. I love Sam Darnold this year. So I trade Cooks, Lindsey, and Royce for Chubb. I think I'd do that. Yeah, I would do that. Is this another league you're talking about, Garrett? Why don't you have a 3-headed monster is what I want to know. Henderson and Humphreys? That's terrible. Bro, you've been following me for a while. How'd you end up with that team? Picked too many receivers early. That's what you did. You went more than I never picked more than 2 receivers the first 6 rounds, which you obviously did. Oh, it's auction. You went 2 receiver heavy. You didn't need to do that. You could have got guys on the low like D.D. Westbrook, Cortland Sutton. Instead, you spent money in the wrong places. Appreciate it. Thank you, Danny. 11 people. Can I get 11 likes? Yeah, you probably went huge on CMC. Could have got Chubb probably for half the amount. That's why I don't like auction. I'll let everybody get CMC, Kamara, but it's not even worth it to me. I'm not going to risk that much on a running back that could get injured. I'd rather go with, like I said, just I don't know if you were here. I was explaining auction to plastic, and I'd break it down to tiers. Whoever goes the cheapest in that tier is who I'm going to get. So I'll go with the Chubb or Mixon, who I think could do just as good as Kamara or Zeke, and I could get them way less, and then I'll have more money to spend else places. But people like CMC, I would never spend money on a guy like that. Yeah, that's the problem. You guys fall in love. I talk about that in my book. Don't fall in love. That'll kill you. Yeah, but again, Savi, Justice Hill is like a lottery ticket. It's not somebody that you can bank on right now. You've been playing fantasy football a while. You know that there's players every year that come on late. Justice Hill could be one of those players. He might not be, but he's not somebody that you go into the season like, all right, I got Justice Hill. I'm plugging in. Let's go. You got winning now before you can worry about winning later. So what I would do is you need to. I'm sure there's good receivers on your bench, and receivers, guys. Once you got that anchor like you do, Savi, the rest are just plug and play. There is no reason why anybody should have the same receivers in their lineups every single week. If your name ain't if your name ain't Juju, Hopkins, Adams, OBJ, Julio, Tyreek, Adam Thielen, then your ass getting benched. There's less than 10 receivers that deserve that you start no matter what. Debo finishes top 20. I don't know about that. I never was off Jimmy G. It's one game. I think Jimmy G will be fine. I'm more concerned about Jimmy G getting injured than I am about his play. He's just not somebody I'll be targeting, you know what I'm saying? But he's right up there with Ben Roethlisberger, Phillip Rivers, Drew Brees. He's in that category. Dak Prescott, Mitch Trubisky. He's there. Yeah, that'll be good. But remember, Garrett. Well, you say you're as long as you play the waiver wires, because guys get injured, so you have to have depth. But if you play your waiver wire right, you should be fine. But yeah, I would make that trade for Chuck. I would. Jai's a bum. I think Zeke will play. Melvin has to play, but I'm not drafting him. He'll probably miss quite a few games, and then maybe the Chargers will decide that they don't want him there. So, kind of not playing the Melvin game. The report card gave you 4th in the league with no defense. Interesting. That's how you know your team's not that good, though, because I get Fs every year. No, your team's not bad. You do need some work, though. 3 tight ends. It's unacceptable. 2 tight ends is unacceptable. I'm going to be getting off here. Gotta work on my website. Any last questions? Dímelo. Should I trade Galladay and Humphries for Kupp, Hines, and Lockett as well? Yeah, I would do that. I mean, Hines is kind of a waste. Humphries, I don't even know why you got. I don't know. I mean, he's one of those players I guess can be okay, but Galladay and Humphries for Kupp, Hines. Yeah, I would do that. When do I think Zeke signs? He should sign any day now. Or within the week. Assuming the Chubb trade happens. Yeah. I'm supposed to be 4th, but I have Aaron Rodgers, CMC, James Conner, Fournette, Mike Thomas, and Amari Cooper. Can't trust ESPN predictions. 18 league. Yeah. Because of your kids. Hines could be Brissett's security blanket. Sure. I don't know. Who cares? Who cares if somebody is a backup quarterback security blanket? Like, who cares? Like, he's the starter by default, not because he should be a starter in the league. No, I get what I know what you're saying, but what I'm saying is, yeah, he's a starter, but his talent is more of a backup. Now, don't get me wrong. If Matt gets injured, then all bets are off. But Jack Doyle is his security blanket. And Jack Doyle played very well when Brissett was in the game. So you want 2 security blankets? Like, why would you want 2 security blankets for what's going to be a bad offense? Makes no sense. All right, y'all. I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for joining. Every time there's a game, I'll be dialed in. Talk to you guys later.